Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about my predictions for the first tier 4 character for PvP specifically. And I know this might seem like a really specific thing to speculate on, but frankly, as far as tier 4s go, this is the second most popular question I've gotten since they were introduced. Obviously, the most popular question I've gotten is like, who is the best tier 4? And we've covered that in a video. It's between Iron Man and Thor, probably Iron Man. But the second most frequent question I get, which honestly surprised me at first, but then as I started to think about it more, it started to make more sense, was when are we gonna get, hey Alex, when are we gonna get a PvP tier 4? Or Alex, who do you think is gonna be the first tier 4 PvP type? How do you think the game is gonna change when they introduce a tier 4 PvP character, not type? And the reason for that, if you're not cluing into it just yet, is because a lot of players actually rely on the crystals that they get weekly from timeline battle, and we've made videos, we've made campaigns trying to get the devs to increase the amount of crystals that you get from here, because honestly it's the most consistent method and basically the only method of farming crystals after you've already farmed the crystals from getting characters to level 50 and level 60 in your roster. But I'm basically talking about this right here, right? Just getting into the top 1%, which is not the hardest thing to do, not the easiest thing to do. You know, it's not like a World Boss Legend stage 50 type of challenge, but it's also not like a World Boss Ultimate stage 10 challenge. It's a little bit in the middle in terms of difficulty, but you can nab yourself, 200 or 220 crystals a week. And for some players, that's legitimately a large amount because all they rely on is a Stark stash, or they're free to play completely. So I understand, right? And whenever we get sort of a transcendent PvP character, even if they're super expensive, right? We hated Sentry when he came out. He's 3,000 CCF. And he was the best PvP type, best PvP character. A couple months later, everybody had him. A couple months after that, even more people had him, right? And the adoption rate on Sentry is still super duper high because of that consistent PvP value, where you could build a team around him and he could carry you and he could get you, 180, 200 crystals every single week. That's 800 crystals a month. Combine that with whatever else, and that's at least one free uniform a month. And that's how some people play, and there's no knock on that. But the tier 4, the signaling of the tier 4 indicates that eventually we're gonna get a tier 4 character that can be used in PvP. And the stat bump alone might be enough to push some characters into PvP territory. Just the stat bump from being level 80 and being tier 4, right? And we've even seen some characters like Iron Man. He's not even built for PvP. He has no iframe ignore, no reflect. I don't even think he has damage reduction. Like, he has nothing for PvP, but just the stat bump and the tier 4 buff, the tier 4 passive buff is enough in some cases to push him into some sort of contention on a PvP level. So when we see our first real PvP tier 4, it's going to be a big deal, and it's probably going to be like the next coming of Sentry. So I've actually put 3 characters here who I both do and do not want to get tier 4 for PvP specifically. Now, if they get tier 4 and they're PvE powerhouses, that's fine. That's all well and good. But despite what people have said, and a lot of people have said this to me, I really do not want Spider-Man to get tier 4. I know a lot of people do because they already have Spider-Man built up. They already have him maxed out. So they're like, oh, perfect. My sharpest knife, I'll just make it even sharper and bigger. The problem with Spider-Man tier 4 is he's already too strong, right? Spider-Man's already in the top 5 for PvP. This is just going to exacerbate that and make that an even bigger problem. Now, it's good from the point of view of him being a speed type, so it allows combat types to sort of creep back into the meta as a counter for him, but it's just too much of a repetitive sort of vibe. And it kind of feels like Jean Grey. Spider-Man's been good in PvP for the last 6 months. Why are we going to extend that by another 6 months? It just seems kind of greedy, and it seems kind of lame. So I'm actually in the camp of not wanting Spider-Man for PvP tier 4. But then we have someone like Rogue, and Rogue is honestly a better option in my opinion because she's been out of the meta. She was very briefly considered for PvP meta back when Jean Grey was still used in PvP last year, because she has a couple of effects. She has a counter attack with ignore iframe. She has auto healing. She has quite a few defensive buffs like guaranteed dodge and damage reduction. So she actually has a lot of tools. And maybe they would upgrade her to tier 4 and give her a new uniform that just tweaks some of those tools, makes them a little bit better, and bam, you have yourself a tier 4 for PvP. But again, I would rather just Rogue be a PvE powerhouse, because we still need really strong mutants for PvE. We still really need them. Storm doesn't cut it. Iceman, unfortunately, is only tier 3. So Storm is not enough. So we need a tier 4 that is better than Storm defensively, right? So that it's actually easier to play and not a complete headache and pain to play the character. And I think Rogue would be a perfect option for that as a speed type. There's other speed mutants, obviously. You can do Mystique. You could do a bunch of others, but yeah. However, especially when you consider the MCU timeline with She-Hulk releasing in a couple of weeks, that puts the She-Hulk update maybe 2 or 3 months away. And the episodes are reported to be shorter than other MCU shows. They're only 30 minutes instead of 45 minutes. So maybe with that condensed schedule and that condensed runtime, it'll be a faster turnaround time for an update. Regardless, we're still looking at a timeline of 2 to 3 months, right? So I don't think we're gonna get a PvP tier 4 that soon. But if we sooner than that. But if we do, I think Hulk is an excellent option for that. Now, why is Hulk an excellent option for a tier 4 PvP character? Well, it makes perfect sense. He was created with his last upgrade 2 years ago. He was created for PvP, and he did his job beautifully, right? He was basically the first character. He basically signaled the new vibe for PvP. He signaled that, they were gonna push these characters out specifically for PvP, and Hulk did his job. However, he fell off, so he hasn't been in the PvP meta for a year and a half. It's been a while for him. So bringing him back would not only bring back a fan favorite, an Avenger, someone who's being featured now. It's got all those hallmarks, but it would also not upset the balance of PvP too much, and that's kind of important here. You don't want to rock the boat too violently. Rogue or Spider-Man or another speed type is going to crush Adam Warlock and Emma Frost. It's going to erase them both from PvP because they're going to get checked so hard by a superior speed type because of the type advantage. Then all those players who invested in Adam Warlock and Emma are going to be upset, and it's going to create that sort of imbalanced rocking, right? With Hulk, he could still be really good. He could still be top 3, but he's going to have a harder time. Maybe he's not 100% consistent in killing Adam and Emma because he has type disadvantage. Meanwhile, he can literally giga clap anyone else. Again, this is all speculation, but assuming Hulk gets an upgrade in a tier 4, he's going to giga clap Doom, giga clap Spider-Man, of course, Sentry, right? Everybody else except for Adam and Emma. And then it creates a little bit more balance. Then a few months later, they release a speed tier 4, and now you have this really nice rock, paper, scissors. Oh, you're using Hulk? Cool, I'm gonna use Emma and Adam. Oh, you're using the speed tier 4? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm using Hulk. I'm gonna clap you. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Oh, you're using Adam and Emma? I'm gonna use this new speed tier 4. So that's sort of my vibe. Obviously, my vibe has not been what the devs have been vibing lately. So I make this video fully knowing that I could be getting pie in my face at any moment, because who knows, right? The next tier 4 could be exactly what I don't want, and it could be some overpowered speed type for PvP or whatever, right? I have no idea, but I think this is the best option. And just in case the devs aren't really sure how to proceed, maybe they can use this as a roadmap, because I think it's too soon, and it was too soon for Storm. So maybe I'm sort of maybe this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I think it's too soon to bring in a tier 4 for PvP, but we will definitely see one before the end of the year. We'll probably see 2 before the end of the year, and that's cool. The game, MFF in general, is very PvE heavy, it's very PvE focused, so that's why I expect the first 5, 6 tier 4s to all be PvE, but eventually, right, one of them is going to be for PvP. It's just absolutely going to happen. There's no chance it doesn't happen, right? And so it's just a matter of when, not if. And so if it has to be someone like Hulk, I think that would be really dope. It would be even cooler, in my opinion, if they tier 3'd She-Hulk for her show and made her for PvP as well. And so then you had like a She-Hulk, familial vibe, and they're like, you know, buffing each other in PvP. Like that would be really cool, you know. And of course, double combat types is just like my wet dream. But yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. This has actually been one of the more popular questions, like I said, and it's actually been surprising for me because I didn't think that many people cared that much about PvP still, especially with how stale it's been for so long. I really hope that it doesn't stay that way for too much longer, but it doesn't really have to come in the form of tier 4s just yet. That's something I didn't really cover in the video, but for example, they could just introduce a really strong speed tier 3 who can allow and provide an extra counter to Adam and Emma, because Spider-Man is not really strong enough to counter both Adam and Emma. He's not really even strong enough to counter Adam, to be honest. Only Thanos does that pretty consistently, or just a stronger Adam. They tried and failed miserably with Elektra, and they didn't want to buff her for whatever reason. So yeah, I guess our only other hope besides a speed tier 4 would be just like a better speed tier 3. But yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.